Breaking news, guys. If you have an American visa right now, it is practically useless. Now, where are those people that were shouting when I asked Donald Trump to ban us? In fact, ban Nigerians from receiving American visas. A lot of you were shouting. Now, you have your own visa already, yet it is invalid. The United States Embassy in Nigeria has quietly begun revoking valid visas previously issued to Nigerian citizens, leaving professionals, entrepreneurs, and practically everybody stranded.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on TVC News at 1. We begin with this major shift in visa policy for Nigerian citizens. Effective today, most non-immigrant and non-diplomatic visas will now be limited to single entry and valid for just 3 months. The United States Department, in a statement on Tuesday, explained that the decision aligns with the Donald Trump administration's reciprocal policy currently affecting several countries, including Nigeria.
You know what they go on now? They talk say US Embassy. They are canceling the visa they already issued to Nigerians. They send the emails, bring your passport. Once you bring your passport like this, bam!
Adekunle, a software engineer from Lagos, had his life meticulously planned out. For 2 years he had worked tirelessly, saving every spare naira and honing his skills for a master's program in data science at a prestigious university in California. He had secured his admission, paid his initial tuition deposit, and to his immense relief, obtained a 5-year B1-B2 visitor visa during a previous trip. He planned to convert it to a student visa upon arrival as advised. His flight was booked for August 15, 2025, just in time for the fall semester orientation. He had said his goodbyes to his family, packed his bags with winter clothes he had never worn, and dreamt of the Golden Gate Bridge. The future seemed bright, tangible, and just a plane ride away. His journey to a new life, however, came to a jarring halt, not in a classroom in California, but at the check-in counter of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. The airline official scanned his passport and frowned. After a few tense moments of typing and hushed phone calls, the official delivered the devastating news. Adekunle was informed he could not board the flight. His US visa, the very key to his dream, had been cancelled. There was no prior email, no phone call, no letter of explanation, just a cold digital rejection that left him standing bewildered amidst the airport's chaos, his carefully constructed future crumbling around him. The shock was profound, quickly followed by a wave of confusion and humiliation. How could this happen? He had a valid visa, stamped right there in his passport. He had no criminal record, had never overstayed a previous visit, and had provided all the required documentation. He desperately tried to get answers from the airline staff, but they could only shrug, stating that the directive came directly from US authorities. A silent visa revocation, also known as a prudential visa revocation, is the process by which a US consular officer cancels a previously issued visa without directly notifying the visa holder. This action is taken within the secure databases of the US Department of State. When the decision is made, the visa's validity is electronically nullified in the system. While the physical visa sticker in the passport appears perfectly valid, it is worthless to US immigration authorities and airline systems. The silent part refers to the lack of direct, proactive communication with the individual. The moment of discovery for most affected individuals is often public and deeply embarrassing. It typically occurs at the airline check-in counter, where the passenger is about to embark on their journey to the United States. The airline system, which cross-references passenger information with U.S. Customs and Border Protection databases, flags the visa as invalid. The airline is then legally obligated to deny boarding to the passenger. In some cases, a person might successfully board a flight only to be denied entry upon arrival in the U.S. and sent back on the next available flight. The common thread is surprise and the complete absence of prior warning. Legally, the U.S. government is within its rights to operate this way. Under Section 221(I) of the Immigration and Nationality Act, consular officers have the broad authority to revoke a visa at any time if they determine that the holder is no longer eligible. The law does not mandate that the government must inform the individual beforehand, or even provide a detailed reason after the fact. The official reasoning is often tied to national security, the practical difficulties of contacting every individual. For the person affected, this legal justification does little to soften the blow. This process differs significantly from a standard visa denial, where an applicant is informed of the decision directly after their interview. In a denial, the reasons are often provided, and the applicant knows where they stand. With a silent revocation, the individual continues to believe they have a valid travel document, making plans and often spending significant sums of money on flights, accommodation, tuition. When questioned about the rising number of visa cancellations, the official response from the U.S. Embassy and consular offices is consistent, grounded in legal authority and national security protocols. The primary justification is to protect U.S. borders and citizens. A visa is not a right, but a privilege. It can be revoked at any time if new information suggests inadmissibility. New information can surface long after approval, triggering review and cancellation by a consular officer. The State Department says actions are decided case by case. Officials say it's not a blanket policy against Nigerians or any nationality. Reasons often fall into national security concerns, potential immigration violations, discovery of fraudulent information, for example, doubt about original intent, planning to work on a tourist visa, or misrepresented financial stability, can trigger prudential revocation to prevent immigration law violations. Visa fraud is a major concern. Examples: falsified bank statements, fake employment letters, sham marriages for immigration benefit. Consular officers may get tips or find discrepancies via interagency data sharing, things missed at the initial interview. Revocation upholds immigration system integrity. Officials say these measures are essential for security and credibility. They cite security and administrative reasons for not notifying every individual. While official statements point to fraud and security, many observers believe there are deeper, unspoken reasons behind the wave of silent visa cancellations affecting Nigerians. One prominent theory is that these revocations are part of a broader, more subtle strategy. Nigerians using non-immigrant visas like the B1, B2 tourist visa, intending to stay in the U.S. permanently. This could involve overstaying the visa, applying for asylum upon arrival, adjusting their status through other means. By retroactively canceling visas of individuals flagged as high risk, U.S. authorities may be attempting to preemptively manage this perceived pattern of visa misuse. Another significant factor could be the high rate of Nigerians overstaying their visas compared to other nationalities. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security periodically releases reports on visa overstays. If Nigeria consistently features as a country with a high number who do not depart when authorized stays expire, that data could trigger a more aggressive enforcement posture. Consular officers, under pressure to reduce these numbers, might adopt a lower threshold for suspicion. Consequently, they may be more inclined to revoke a visa based on subtle red flags or new, unverified information that suggests an applicant might not return to Nigeria. Changes in U.S. domestic policy and political climate also play a crucial role. Immigration has become a highly politicized issue in the United States. Administrative policies can shift dramatically with changing government priorities. A more restrictive immigration stance from the White House or Congress can translate into stricter directives for consular officers worldwide. These directives might not be publicly announced but are implemented internally, leading to a noticeable increase in visa denials and revocations. For Nigerians, this could mean that an application or profile acceptable a few years ago is now viewed with much greater scrutiny and suspicion. Finally, there is the element of guilt by association and profiling. The impact of these silent visa cancellations extends far beyond the inconvenience of a canceled trip. It represents a significant human and emotional toll. For many Nigerians, the news is financially devastating. Take the case of Funke, a small business owner who had planned to attend a trade fair in Houston. She had spent over 3 million naira non-refundable flight ticket, hotel bookings, exhibition fees. Discovering her 5-year visa was canceled at the airport meant losing her entire investment and a crucial opportunity to grow her business. "It felt like a robbery," she lamented. "They took my money and my opportunity without a single word of explanation." How is that fair? The emotional distress is equally profound. Parents who plan to attend their children's graduation ceremonies are left heartbroken. Families who saved for years for a dream vacation, left to explain to disappointed children. A medical doctor with a valid visa was turned away at check-in and described the humiliation. "People look at you differently," he explained. "The stigma is immediate and painful. This climate of uncertainty has bred a pervasive sense of anxiety. The document, once a source of pride and security, now feels precarious." Travelers find themselves nervously checking online forums and news sites before their trips, half expecting their own visas to be invalidated without notice. This fear has dampened enthusiasm for U.S. travel. Some professionals now hesitate to accept invitations. The lack of transparency means there is no way to verify one's visa status beforehand. turning every planned trip into a gamble. Immigration lawyers and policy analysts offer several layers of interpretation for silent visa revocations. Many experts agree it's tied to enhanced data analytics and interagency information sharing. Following 9/11, the U.S. invested heavily in systems that connect databases from Department of State, Department of Homeland Security intelligence agencies. An expert from a Lagos consultancy noted, "A visa can be flagged without direct link to the holder. For instance, if a person you listed as a contact is later flagged for an immigration violation, your visa could be reviewed and cancelled as a precaution." Experts point to the doctrine of consular non-reviewability, which grants consular officers broad autonomy. The quiet cancellation of United States visas has sent disruptive ripples across Nigeria's education sector, creating significant obstacles for students aspiring to study in the United States. Universities in the United States have long been a top destination for Nigerian scholars seeking quality postgraduate education. However, the current climate of uncertainty is making this path increasingly perilous. Students who have spent months, and sometimes years, navigating the complex admissions process, securing funding, preparing for departure, now face the additional fear that their student visa could be revoked without warning. This uncertainty discourages talented individuals who might now opt for universities in Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, where the visa process is perceived as more stable and transparent. For the students who are directly affected, the consequences are life-altering. Many, like Adekunle, pay substantial non-refundable tuition deposits and accommodation fees before traveling. A last-minute visa cancellation means this money is lost, a catastrophic financial blow for most Nigerian families. Beyond the financial loss, it derails their academic and career timelines. Securing admission to a graduate program is a competitive process. For Nigerians who find themselves in the distressing situation of having their visa silently revoked, the path forward is narrow and challenging, but not entirely closed. The first practical step is to seek official confirmation. While the airline provides the initial alert, contact the United States Embassy or consulate in Nigeria. They may not provide a specific reason, but they can formally confirm the visa's status. This is an important step before making any future plans. Trying to travel on a revoked visa can lead to more severe immigration consequences, including long-term bans on entering the United States. Immigration professionals most commonly advise reapplying for a new visa. Complete a new DS-160 form, pay the application fee, and schedule another interview. Approach the new application with honesty and thoroughness. On the form, you'll be asked if you've ever had a U.S. visa revoked. Answer yes, and provide a brief factual explanation. For example, my previous visa was revoked in September 2025. I was not provided with a reason for the revocation. Hiding a revocation can lead to misrepresentation findings and permanent ineligibility. Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia. Diversifying options can open new pathways while the U.S. opportunity is uncertain. The future of United States travel for Nigerians appears to be a road paved with both persistent uncertainty and resilient hope. The resilience of the Nigerian people is their greatest asset.